Tonight, we're getting reports that Washington State Ferries did not get the warning about a humpback whale in the area before a ferry hit and likely killed one last week.
So this happened last week on the ferry route between Seattle and Bainbridge Island. Passengers reported seeing the whale surface about 5 to 10 feet in front of a ferry and then seeing it bleed and struggle once it was hit. Simone Del Rosario joining us now with more on this warning that apparently did not get to the people running the ferry.
So I had a source contact me and say, hey, I told NOAA and the Coast Guard that there was a whale in the area hours before this happened, but neither entity passed that information on to Washington State Ferries, so they didn't know to be on higher alert. NOAA and the Coast Guard confirmed with me that they were told about a young humpback whale near Shill Shoal Bay that day, which isn't too far from the Seattle to Bainbridge ferry route, as you can see. Now, the first sighting was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The Coast Guard went out that afternoon to look for it, didn't find it, and decided against sending an alert to mariners to warn them, telling me they don't typically do that unless they have a confirmed location and they want boaters to stay away. Fast forward several hours, and the video you're looking at now is the Coast Guard back out on the water, this time looking for the whale after it had been hit.
Are they making any changes, though, to try to prevent this from happening again?
Look, to be fair, this is a very rare occurrence, but the Coast Guard tells me that, yes, they are looking at ways that they can better communicate with the ferries in future instances. Washington State Ferries tells me, on top of their own crews keeping eyes out, they really rely on whale sightings from NOAA, the Coast Guard, and Orca Network to avoid this type of situation, saying this system has worked incredibly well in the past, and it's never had any known vessel collisions with a whale up until last Tuesday. However, they will analyze this current system and what happened as part of the investigation, saying it's still too early to say what changes might come from that. Now, Orca Network, one of those organizations I told you about that they rely on, Orca Network stays in constant communication with ferries about whale sightings when they have them, and tells me today this should cause other groups to think more about what information they share.
The lesson learned from the sad demise of this little humpback that I think we should, all of us, Coast Guard, anyone who sees a whale about to cross a ferry route, to let the ferries know so that they can keep an eye out and go slow if they need to.
Now, it's hard to say whether knowing about a whale in the area that day could have changed the outcome, but all parties telling me they are committed to learning any lesson they can from this to keep it from happening again. As we've been seeing this spring, there's so many more young whales coming out. They are notoriously more naive around boats, which makes these sightings so much more important.
Yeah, we're learning a lot. Thank you.